All right, so now we're gonna get to the mixed reviews by the debate by Green Book.
Listen, I can't come with this honestly because I didn't finish the movie. Because why I couldn't finish the movie? Because I couldn't finish the movie. Why I couldn't finish the movie? Because wow, this was a mess to be dread. And
I
look, it's
don't
probably
understand how you can say that, but
anything.
continue.
Right, so anything, movies like this, I can't be home watching this shit. Can't be. I had to go to the theater. It had to get my undivided attention, so I know I can't leave. I won't get up and leave out of the theater. But I think I was sleepy. I had a slight flu, and I was like, nah, but I just can't go through this because this was just so
Wow,
slow.
I had the flu and I watched this movie.
I don't know, boy. This was just I just turned this off and I just couldn't get into this. I couldn't finish this. Nah, Judd.
Wow, boy. Well, I am shocked to hear this. I am really, I'm not appalled, but I'm just shocked to hear this. Though. Now,
You do it. Next week I'll come with my review because I'm not
fine,
take it.
fine. Well, next
Yeah,
episode, you'll come with your thoughts, right? So,
right, right.
fine. I will do the synopsis and share my thoughts on Green Book, right?
Right.
So, this is actually based on a true story. Well, they say
Yeah,
inspired by a true friendship. It is about Frank Vallelonga, or as he
right.
calls himself, Tony Lip. I did not even know that he was in friggin' Sopranos.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and I actually like watched over Sopranos. 'Cause I bought the box set on Blu-ray. Still love that show. It's still like my number two favorite TV series of all time. Number one
right.
is The Wire. Nothing fucks with The Wire. Nothing
Right.
fucks with The Wire. That's all I have to say, right? But yeah, I did not even know that he was in Sopranos and such a big character as well. It's like holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay. Um, but yeah, so it starts off with him being this bouncer at this little swanky New York club now, right?
Yeah.
And uh after this confrontation that ends rather violently, uh it's not like he's kicked out of the club or anything like that for what he did,
Right.
right?
Well, I watched all of this where he did something intentionally to throw off the club, but he wanted to get hired by somebody to make a little more money. So he do this for spite. He set up a situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Right.
and yeah, then the club is closed
Yeah, yeah,
because for his,
exactly. The club,
yeah,
they'll close the club, well, usual reasons, money and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, Frank is without a job. So, once again, we have a show with characters without a job, right? So
right.
he has his wife, Dolores. They have, I believe, his two sons. Yeah, I believe it's two sons they have, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it's like, well, yeah, I had to put food on the table. You know the typical thing, right? And oh, by
Yeah.
the way, this is set actually in the early '60s. So once again, we keep it with the whole '60s shtick again. But in this case, this is set in 1962. So yeah, this is around the time of the civil rights movement and
Yeah.
just in Haiti and all
Father,
that stuff.
yeah.
Right. So, through some circumstances, he ends up going to this interview where basically it's just to be the driver, the chauffeur, if you will, for a musician, right? A pianist by the name of Doc or Don Shirley,
Yeah.
and he is, yes, a real life pianist. For some weird reason, I've never listened to his music before. Like, I've been
Right.
familiarizing myself with, like, jazz from guys like, say, Miles Davis, people like that. But like, I've never heard of Don Shirley before. So
Yeah.
now I had to go back and check out his stuff, and because from the music that I was hearing in this movie, I was like, okay, this man's a real deal. This man is a virtuoso, as they describe him in the film. In terms of just being just a virtuoso in terms of piano, in terms of just playing the piano, right? And
Right.
yes, the character is played by none other than Oscar winner Mahershala Ali, right? And
Yeah.
yes, before I forget, yes, Frank is played by Viggo Mortensen,
Yeah.
sorry. And what I
Right.
like here is that yes, we could make the argument he played an Italian American. It's not that hard to play that because all he has to do is just hey, you're breaking my balls, man. Come on, Bryson, man. But he
That
just
was too
goes deep
weird.
into that role. But to me, he just goes deep into it.
Ah,
He
boy.
sold it. He sold it to me. He sold it. Yes, you
That
can look at him
was,
and be like, yes, yes, we know you're Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. We know, but he just went so deep in his character. I was like, the man's selling it though. He's selling it.
I just find this was too. Is that it does feel too cliche, Joe, but whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Now, the thing that catch me off guard, right? Because I didn't know who Don Shirley is. I see Mahershala Ali's character come in. You see the kind of throne that he have in his living room, and he has this
Right, right,
Indian butler as well too, which was
right.
hilarious. But how they played out was kind of cool as well there. So I thought that he was like this British guy or some sort of because the way how he was talking, his diction. All to realize that no, he just cultured, he was brought up in I think he did attend some music school or so in England, I think it was, or it was some other European country. So because he learned things differently, right? That's why his diction, the way how he spoke, was different. 'Cause at first, like I say, well, like I thought he was American though, but he didn't come off like that though. But then I realized, oh, it's just because of the way how he spoke. But anyway, so long story short, Don and his team is basically this trio actually, a guy who plays bass and a guy who plays the violin basically. They are doing this tour basically, right, through the deep south. And the areas that they're touching on, they go into for this tour are like some of the most like anti-black areas basically in the deep south at that time, which is intentional. It's actually Dunn's. It actually is part of Dunn's bigger scheme basically, right? Which is
Right,
him kind of just going out there and just showing the world or at least people down there that hey, I am a talented musician. If I wanted to
right,
go in the deepest, darkest area of the deep south, then so be it, right? When all the lynchment or the attempt to lynchment, it doesn't matter. I go in there because I just love doing what I do, basically, right?
right.
Frank is just there, making sure that nothing happens to him, making sure that nobody tries to lynch him or whatnot. And just basically the misadventures to get him killed. Yeah, they do end up in some shit. Some,
Right.
some racist shit does happen. But
Yeah,
slowly and surely, and this is one thing I like about the film, it's not just instantly they just form this friendship. Slowly but
yeah.
surely, yeah, they become friends, even though before I forget, I also forgot to mention this. Frank is like a kind of closet racist as well too. It's like he wouldn't
Right.
go to
I
his
saw
ring
that.
and
Like,
just point at him and
with
be
the,
like, I don't want to work with that sorry, I don't want to work with that booty or whatever it is.
right,
But it's
Julian, yeah.
like yeah, because once again, Axe Spike Lee, his early movies always touch on that. Yeah, it's never
Right.
been that easy for Italian Americans and African Americans anyway, right? So they always
Yeah,
had that kind of animosity anyway. But yeah, as he poster and the premise and the everything about it suggests, yeah, they do form this friendship, but I do like that it takes its time to really develop. So from the half that you did see, Ricardo, please tell me why you didn't like this movie. Although I
yeah.
won't be surprised, but I want to hear from you anyway.
No, okay, so okay, so The Sopranos is a show I never really got into, and one of the reasons I
Okay.
never got into it is because it just felt too cliched, and it just felt like, well, it's Goodfellas, it's Goodfellas the series, and
Yeah,
that just
although I
set,
would argue it's characters who were inspired by the Goodfellas. They actually go to the way to say, yeah, they kind of look
right.
up to Goodfellas
I
and
get
worship
that.
it, so they kind of followed the rules
I
of that
understand,
movie. Right.
I understand all of that, and the same when you're doing Italian series, like this is not as bad as Gotti, but this still had that same problem I had with Gotti, where it's like, wow, this just everything about this feeling like a cliche. Like, really, this portrayal of Italian Americans don't feel realistic at all. Like, if you tell me this realistic and they show me documentary footage, something about this is just feels so what's the word I'm gonna use for it, boy? Hyper real about
Right.
it. That's the closest thing I could think of. Like that's the closest thing I could think about it, which is like at no point this feels real to me in terms of like what a character should be, or and it too Oscar baitish. I thought some of the blocking was weak. Just everything was just look. I don't know if I was feeling sick or I had to go and sleep. I was too tired, but I just could not finish this. And I just turned this off halfway, and I was just bored. But whatever. I don't touch judging the movie properly, in my opinion, and I was like, all right. And that's kind of it. Just take me out it. It really take me out it because when it really lose me is when he met him for the first time and I'm like, wait, this how this going? Whole thing gonna be dread? Wow.
Wait,
I
wait,
look
Arch,
when he met him.
in Don's penthouse suite.
Right, yeah. And I was like, he just playing this, and then Don's supposed to be this super um sophisticated black man, and I'm speaking like this, and it just
Yeah, that's
feel
what I say. That what threw me off. The kind like, wait, you're supposed to be American, so why you talk about yes, I need you for a job. I need you to take me around the
Right,
theater. Nah, right?
right. You
Yeah.
get that? No, you cannot put it on a show and it have a whole thing to it. But and then well, okay, here's another thing too. Because I know about the concept of the Green Book and what that means, I thought like the film would have been about the goddamn Green Book, like what the Green Book really is, and the movie, from what I understand, doesn't really address that all that much. But again, I'll admit I watched reviews before going into it, so that probably poisoned the debate a little bit. Kind of
Yeah.
poisoned the well for me.
But also
And
that is one of the biggest flaws in the movie where you have the
what
title,
another
but
thing,
what is the title really about if you're not really
right?
stressing on the book, right?
Exactly. And then what another thing too is, from what I understand, is that's a bullshit. Like most of it is quite inaccurate. Again, I should have gone into this as blind as I could, so that I probably enjoy the movie more. But from what I understand, is like most of this not accurate. Like a lot of
Well,
this
I,
doesn't
I
happen.
I read up about this afterwards. Like actually the relatives of um of of um of Don himself, because Don passed away.
Yeah,
I think both of them passed away actually, both Don and Tony. Yeah, the
yeah,
family of Don was saying no, half of this stuff didn't even happen. You know.
exactly. And so when I see that, that immediately turned me off. So I was saying, all right, if it's well made, I could at least tolerate this. Because if you're doing a well made embellishment, or you change up things in such a way where like, all right, this is much more dramatic or much more thing, I could take it. But then everything just flat and blocking bad and stuff like that. So I was like, nah, boy, that just like drain all the energy out of me to watch this. Um, and so that was pretty much me on that case. I am going to watch the movie properly and I'll give a proper review next week. But that is the reason why I lock it off. Because I had a bunch of problems with it. That's just my outsider perspective. Yes, it's coming from a position of ignorance. I will concede that. Continue.
All right, all right, all right. Well, speaking of directing, right?
Yeah.
So holy shit, I was surprised that this movie was directed by Peter Farrelly, though. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what? Oh, you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because yeah, if you're familiar with like the brothers style of comedy, because you know they've
Oh,
done
yeah.
films like Kingpin, Dumb and Dumber, which I still regard as one of the great '90s comedies of all time.
Coming up with movie. Yeah.
Also, there's something about Mary, which is one of my
Yeah.
favorite romantic comedies as well. Shallow Hal, which I thought was like
Right.
the nadir of their
Yeah. That's
writing
it.
and
Yeah.
directing. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
so weak. Really hated that movie. But anyway, yeah, when you think about when you see that name, you're thinking, all right, comedy kind of gross or kind of vulgar, but it has so much heart underneath the grossiness now.
But thing is, we know comedy directors could do serious shit because this fella do Vice, right? Adam McKay, right?
Yes,
Adam
yes.
McKay, he do Vice, he do the other one with the when the financial thing meltdown, Big Short.
Right, Big Short,
Uh,
yeah.
but to me, he do movies I consider comedy masterpieces, right? So
Of course, Anchorman.
that,
You say what you want, but that is a comedy classic in my opinion.
that's that.
Talladega Nights, not really so
The
much in my
first
opinion.
Anchorman. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first Anchorman I consider really, 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 really brilliant, and they know how to subvert, in a really good way. And
Yes.
he's a
Yes.
good actor in that way. So to hear Peter Farrelly wasn't this, that was the part that kind of disappointed me because I was like, I know this dude could do good comedy. So I really thought, all right, we were going to get something that was going to be genuinely intelligent um, from a directing standpoint. And that's the one thing, because you're getting the chance to go outside of your framework, you're going to not fuck around now.
Right.
And that's how this felt like. It just felt like a really half-assed. Like just the little I watch of it now. Well, it's more or less the first half of the film.
All right. Well, I would say honestly that I was impressed by the director that he did. It wasn't
Okay.
anything spectacular, but I was impressed by what it is he did. The
Okay.
cinematography I thought was decent as well. Some really great shots, especially with them driving around and stuff like that. Right. I thought that Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali were great on screen, even though they
Right.
are playing kind of caricatures of real life characters. Like I was saying, Vigo, the thing is with playing Italian Americans, why I say it's so easy because you just had to slap on an accent and put on a
Right.
put on a suit and whatnot. Like stop breaking my balls, man. Come on, man. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff
That,
there. So, but you
that
could
is.
tell
That,
that he
yeah.
committed. Like the man put on some weight. I think he put on like 40, 50 pounds. Can you see in his gut? You know what I mean? But the man went out his way to really play this character, though. So I give credit where credit is due. And what I like is that like at first I was worried that he was gonna be this bigger throughout the entire movie, but he is open minded in a way, even though Mahershala's character kind of calls him on his bullshit, right? They both kind of call each other out on their own bullshit, which I really liked as well. Because neither one of these characters are perfect, right? Let's get out of the
Yeah.
way. Even right now to Don himself, because yeah, he coming off culture. It's like, well, this is my music, and I understand how how the state of things are in America right now. You don't want me to eat in this restaurant because I'm black, but look, it's like
Right.
this: either I play here or I go in. So I like how he just puts his foot down and be like, "Yeah, this is what I want, Trent. And if you're not gonna
Yeah.
provide that for me, fine, I go on, right?" But at the same time, he does kind of he isn't, I would say, cultured in terms of African American stuff. Because there's this great scene where they're driving down there, and they have the radio on, and Little Richard is playing, and
Right.
it's like, well, yeah, well, Tony, you say, wait, leave that on. And it's like, who's this? Is this Little Richard? Wait, you don't know Little Richard? And then you switch a station, and they hear Aretha Franklin, which was a nice little nod, to Aretha Franklin, rest in peace.
Right.
But it's like, wait, you telling me Don don't even know that kind of music? It's like he said he will hear the music, but he not familiar with the artist. But
Right.
then again, when you had to think about contradictions, though,
Well, it's in
Tony,
1960s, so it's like whatever.
yeah, but I guess it's something you had to dig in deep to, where yeah, Tony, like early on, there's this scene which kind of, it's not really played for laughs, but it's kind of like, oh gosh, man, you really that you really had this bigotry to you really have this kind of you know uncertainty towards black people. Like this is how far you're gonna go with it. Or say it involves these two guys who were just helping out in the house. That's all I'll
Oh
say.
yeah, that's big. And yeah, with the cups. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
with
that.
cups, with the cups. But
Yeah.
you're still listening to black artists on radio though.
Right.
I know once
Ah,
again it's a contradiction. Okay, but still, it's like, all right, I don't be working for the money, man. But you're still
right.
listening
Right.
to
Right.
black music, though. Once again, contradictions, double standards, whatever, right? I'm not gonna go into that, right? But I really did enjoy their performances on screen, though.
Okay.
Mahershala really took a while for me to get into, but like when he was on screen, I was like, all right, I feel this character. I really feel how he's trying to be all calm and everything, trying to be professional, but there's moments where it's like, all right, I just really can't take this anymore because the way how he was brought up, he doesn't like. It's only really you'll see him lose his cool there, right? That's what I really like about his character, right? Very very subdued in terms of his emotions, but
Yeah.
I like how they kind of both call each other out in the shit and they do sort of open up to each other now. So it kind of ends with them being friends, but I like that it took them a long while for them to get there. Um, the side of sorry the other performance I thought was great. Linda Cardellini, sorry. She
Yeah.
was she played Dolores. I thought that she was great as well. I like that they gave her some screen time, even though she does play into the whole yeah, but my husband gone, another Italian American cliche. Oh, my husband gone, so I just deal with the kids, all these kids, blah blah blah, have to do everything. But yeah, my man's coming home, all that kind of stuff. Then you have your friends making fun of her because she husband gone, and oh yeah, and this plays out over the course of like 2 months. So yes, while the movie did come out in Thanksgiving, they do end on Christmas. There. Um, so I like how it kind of plays out progressively in terms of just seeing time pass and whatnot, in terms of the characters and how well in terms of like Frank's character, how he misses Dolores, but because he's this tough guy trying to be tough. It's kind of hard for him to express that, and there's great moments where Don is, basically showing how to write a letter properly. Write these flowery letters there, so when Dolores reads it, she's like, huh, that kind of stuff there.
Right. Right. Right.
The racial stuff that do happen, you've seen it before in other films as well, but I kind of would like to believe that these things did happen, but as you said, that maybe half of these things didn't really happen, so you kind of had to wonder if it's just there to you know, kind of make us react to certain things. And this is another thing
Right.
that kind of caught me off guard because I didn't really look at the rating of the movie until afterwards, and I saw it was a PG-13. But all the talk about the movie and it was about race and stuff, I thought it was gonna be like harder. So
Right.
I was expecting the content to be a lot heavier there, a lot edgier there. But actually, it's
Yeah.
not. And this is something that may throw people off. People might call this out and say, "Oh, this is like driving Miss Daisy again. And this is
Right.
Oscar bait and all that kind of stuff." And yeah, I kind of I can understand that. It's very light. Yeah, what I mean? The subject matter is there, right? It's very uncomfortable, but they play it off in this very light way. Not to say that you're not supposed to react to it, but I would compare it to some, like, say, Hidden Figures, right? Which was a
Okay.
PG-rated movie, but and it is about race and it is set during that era anyway, but they don't spend too much time hammering over the head and making it really feel bad about how blacks felt. You understand it
Right.
historically, but they
But
don't spend too much time
so
on it.
here's a big thing. Right? Hidden Figures
Uh,
is a movie that I don't think deserve an Oscar nomination or anything like that, but I remember
I don't
enjoying
think it
it.
deserved the best picture nomination, but it got
Right.
nominated for God knows why, right? But go on.
Right. But my thing is that is that did the embellishment in an intelligent way. So
Yes, yes, yes.
it had some inaccuracies, but all the inaccuracies made sense in the context of the story. So it's like, all right, this character didn't exist, but you understand, but the characters are an amalgamation of a bunch of people who did exist. Stuff like that. That I don't mind.
Right.
But I understand this movie had outright fabrications. So it's like, that is a
Yeah.
problem. So I don't know. That's the thing with
Yeah.
Hidden Figures. It just got passed because it did the embellishment things in intelligent ways. But you had to know how to do it. Whatever.
Right, right, right. But I'll get to the Oscar bait thing in a bit before I get to my rating, right? So
Right.
let's talk about the title for a bit, Green Book, right? Now, I didn't know what they meant by it, right? But early on,
Right.
we saw, okay, so it's as actually a reference to something called the Negro Motorist Green Book, right? Which was a
Right.
guidebook for African Americans. So when you're traveling,
Yeah.
to know which particular spots you could go to, whether it's a restaurant or a motel or wherever it is, wherever
And
you
it,
could
right.
go.
Right. Any safe spot, yeah.
Yeah. So they show it a few times to show the characters looking at it, being okay, we'll get kicked out of this restaurant, for example. All right, we're gonna go to this spot here that sells, barbecue chicken and whatnot. Boom, whatever, right? Cool. But once again, like in the context of the movie, when you think about it, there really was no need to call this thing Green Book. I think they just call it
Right.
Green Book is just a simple title. But you kind of mention it in the film and you don't really do much with it. So I thought that was a huge flaw in the movie.
Right.
Also, yes, while it's well shot, while it's well acted, while you do feel the chemistry between the two, and while it does have this charm that I can't help but really appreciate, it really does feel Oscar Beatty. It really does. Right
Right.
down to, yeah, eventually these two are gonna have fun. They're gonna really be friends and laugh and stuff, even though they kind of hate each other's guts.
Right.
At some point in time in the film,
This,
it really does feel Oscar Beatty.
Right, but here's the thing. To go back to the Green Book point, and I might say this next week because I predict myself more in future. I find you waste the title on something that the idea of the Green Book itself is really interesting and harrowing history. Like once you know what that was about and why it exists the way it is, so to waste it on this is what kind of bothered me now. Like call the movie something else now.
I agree.
I
agree. Like, come on, just think of something else.
There's so many stories that could have been told with the Green Book idea, or even as the creation of the Green Book and make that. But no, they decided to do this story. Like what?
Yeah,
all right.
And they literally like slight spoiler. They literally forget about the book. They don't do anything with the book after it's shown after about a few times in the film. They don't do anything with it. It's never brought up again in the movie.
Right. That
Yeah, but and then while I do appreciate the end of it trying to be all, warm and lighthearted, especially because they end it at Christmas Day itself. Is that a Christmas Day or Christmas Eve? I think it's Christmas Day itself. The ending was kind of went, formulaic. All I'll say is that if you've seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that's a classic movie with the late John Candy, Steve
Martin.
Steve Martin. You can kind of tell how this movie gonna end. It ends like that. I was like,
wow. Well,
all right, I like it again, but y'all could not come with a better end than that, man.
Yeah,
like I understand you're going for you're trying to tug on my heartstrings. All right, cool, but y'all could not come with a better ending than this. In retrospect, right? But it's not a terrible end, but they could have thought things out a little bit more. And I would say this is the really what brings this movie down totally is that. Yes, it is going for the Driving Miss Daisy feel to things, and in no way am I rooting for this thing to be nominated for best film. No way, Jose, right? Not say that, but because of the leads and how they commit to the performances, I actually quite enjoyed it for what they were going for. Stuff behind the scenes, maybe we could kind of digging deep, and then maybe if it do, you'll be like, all right, this movie don't work as well as it should, or maybe you could say, oh well, it's just presented Vigo as this white savior. I remember this big controversy that Vigo is the white savior in the movie, and
Okay.
because they kind of painted that, well, Dodd literally would have been lynched or shot or killed or left in jail if it wasn't for Frank, basically, right? And
Right.
before I forget, one more thing, one last flaw I have with the movie. There's a particular moment that takes place with him, where Dodd leaves the motor, right? Because
Right.
usually, right. So one of his big addictions, basically, he's an alcoholic, basically, right?
Right.
And they kind of hint that there's this deep rooted stuff going on with him. He doesn't really reveal that much, but you could tell that's why he drinks a lot, right? So there's a scene basically where the other two guys in the set, right, come to Frank and is like, hey, well, we need your help. Don's over here. The police want to arrest him. So they find him locked up, actually, like handcuffed. Sorry, and I'm not gonna spoil what happens there, but they hint
Right.
at something about Don's character. I thought that was like really fascinating because, like, okay,
Right.
black character is also dot 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 dot. Let's just say it's kind of like Moonlight. That's all I'll say. Kind of like Moonlight. It's
Right.
very ironic too because Mahershala Ali was in that film, right? So
Right. Right.
take
Right. Right.
Moonlight, right? But I was like, okay, y'all could go a little bit deeper into it. Let's spend too
Right.
much
That
time
would have
about
been
it,
more
but
interesting.
being this dot 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 character, black character in the early '60s, how will you deal with that? But it's just like, oh well, yeah, this kind of brushed it off basically, right? Even right down to how Frag resolves the situation, how he gets the police to basically let him go. It's just like, well, dude, at least I save your life, Dred. But why does he bring up about where how you found out what happened? It's like, no, I don't need to know all that kind of stuff, Dred. Because I do the
Right.
job, all that kind of stuff. So the film literally brushes off what happens, but this is something really interesting about the character.
Right.
You'll just forget, you'll just let go just because. Like,
That's why
did
there's a
that
problem
really
that
happen? And
community kind of shit.
it'll be
They,
even
they,
worse now. It'll be even worse now if that did not even happen in real life, Jen.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hmm. Sad.
But
Anyway.
but but I still enjoy the movie for what they
Okay.
were going for. It has a feel good vibe to things, which will attract viewers, will have them comfortable while they watch it. It's while it and yes, they do touch on uncomfortable stuff like I say, race and all that kind of stuff, but it's not to the point that these two lead characters come out of it feeling defeated. They do kind of come out of it victorious, I should say, yeah, and see them kind of succeed through these situations. Made for some great viewing as well. But in no way would I say it is like the best movie out there. But it really does feel Oscar baity. You know what I mean? Just right down to the feel goodness of it all. No, I can't go to my way and say it's all intentional. You're all doing this because they want them Oscar noms. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but for what it is still entertaining, right? For what it is. So for me, I'll give this a very, very, very light 4 to 5, man. If it
Okay.
could get past the subject matter, if it could get past, well, I don't like how these characters are from first glance. It will grow on you. It will eventually grow on you. Ricardo, I'm not too sure if the movie will actually appeal to you in some way when you do see the full
Yeah.
film.
Right.
But I do understand where you're coming from. I do see people will not like it because once again, driving Miss Daisy and all that kind of stuff. We do this
Right.
again,
Right.
2018. Literally 20 years. Literally 30 years from when that movie came out, which was like what
Right.
1989, right? And we doing this again. I don't know. Maybe people will talk about this shit, but it'll be even worse though if it gets nominated for award for Oscar. Sorry, but I have a strong feeling it will, and then that's when the big debates will really spring up
Right.
actually. Not just for it being in
I,
theaters and
yeah,
being
I could see this easily getting not only nominated but winning because the movie that won, which I didn't believe it should have won, but as Get Right won, won last year, right? That was Shape of Water.
yeah. Which I
So
understand why, but I was like, nah, man. I mean, Del Toro made better movies than that. No offense.
exactly, and it's
Yeah.
one of those calculus that's end up going into the situation. So it's if you had to appeal, you see, look, one of the big sticking points about Hollywood is the whole appealing to all liberals. If you
Yeah.
appeal to all liberals, great. If you appeal to conservatives, no. If you appeal to young liberals, no. But if you appeal to old liberals, yeah. And Shape of Water did that. And this movie feels so tailor-made to do that shit. That
You
is
know,
better.
you're right though, because it does have that old school feel to things, from the
Right.
direction to the acting to the choices of
Exactly.
music to it. Just has this kind of old school feel, like like oh gosh, like say like what's the name of the movie by Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and yes,
Right. Right.
stuff that touch on race, but not in this sort of blatant way. It is sort of feel good, relatable, always gonna end
Yeah.
happy anyway. So whatever, we could be friends kind of vibe now. So it does have that
Right.
old school feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
well,
it's intentional. I can't really see for sure, but I guess, and I have like I say, I have a strong feeling it's gonna get nominated for something. God forbid if it get nominated for Best Picture. I am not rooting for this film at all to get nominated for
right.
best film, Trent. I'm like, nah, you're not serious, Trent. But hey, stranger things have happened, right? But yeah, I still give this a very light 4 out of 5. It is worth checking out, right? Whether you like it or not, well, I guess that depends on the viewer. But I enjoyed it for what it was.
Right.